And it has arrived in the form of Francis Maxwell, our World Cup correspondent, which you should check out on TYT Sports.
Hello.
Hey, Francis knows that I flubbed it in the beginning with my Spain prediction, but I have rallied and I put my money where my mouth is. Right after the first games, I put my money on Netherlands. Well, let's see what happens.
Another bold prediction, Spain and Netherlands. Wow.
All right, Scottish guy. All right, anyway, what do you got for us, Francis?
Okay, so Yegen said, what do you think of the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman? Do you believe everything John Perkins says?
So that's a super interesting question, because I read that book and I found it fascinating. And I feel bad saying this, but no, I didn't believe everything that he said. And I felt that there was exaggerations in there. But having said that, you should all read it, because it gives you a sense of what we have done. Even if you are not, as I was, if you are a little skeptical about the details, the overall concept is accurate. What we do to third world countries, developing countries, to get them to bend to our will, it's an eye-opening book. Okay, all right, next.
Okay, so Absurdity Goose says, if corporations are people, does being anti-corporate make you a type of racist?
That's coming, man. You think they're not going to charge me with that? By the way, I'm not anti-corporations. I'm anti-corporations ruling our government. Okay, I have a corporation. The Young Turks a corporation. I'm not against it, right? I just don't want us or any other corporation to be able to go and say, oh, hey, Senator X and Congressman Y and President Z, you now work for me because I pay for all of your donations. Next.
Okay, Brian Cenk has a great question. Should we amend the natural-born citizen requirement for presidency made since in 1787, but not so much now?
Now, Francis thinks that's a good question because he was born in Scotland, right?
Give me a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good luck with that, brother. Okay. There's someone else on the Young Turks that was on a quote natural-born citizen. Who might that be? Oh, right, me. So, number one, I believe that has already been amended. It's a bit of a controversial position, but that's in the original Constitution, and the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments freed the slaves, and in doing so said that they have all of the rights of citizens. At that point, the slaves were not natural-born citizens. So that part of the Constitution, I believe, has been amended. Not a lot of people agree with me. It's never been tested, right? But it should be tested. And hey, plain reading of the Constitution, plain reading of the amendments. I'm sure conservatives would agree. Next.
Stephen M. Campbell says, does the informal nature of the show make it harder to have normal employer/employee relations with co-hosts?
That's an interesting, controversial question. Putting me on the spot. The answer is yes. I guess regular bosses are probably tougher and stick to the law. What's wrong with you, Casper? Blah, blah, blah. Johnny Pie, what are you up to? What are you doing? But yeah, and maybe it's just me. I'm a softy. It's harder for me to do that. And we get along so well on air. But luckily, I don't have to yell at him much, so it's not much of an issue. All right, next.
Dorf on TYT asks, Cenk, why is it that people who are against abortions are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place?
They said hashtag George Carlin.
Oh, sorry.
Right. I'm going to leave that be. Okay, next.
Abby Miller asks, in today's polarizing DC, wouldn't we want a more centrist POTUS, brackets HRC, as opposed to the extreme from both D's and R's, in brackets Warren and Cruz? Okay.
The answer is hell no. Okay. Now, centrist to what end? I mean, if they were centrist as in they believed what the American people believed, according to the public opinion polls on protecting Social Security, Medicare, raising taxes, not going into any more wars, etc., I would take that person in a second. But that's not Hillary Clinton, and that's not the so-called centrist in Washington. The centrists in Washington agree to give away all of our money to corporations in the form of subsidies, tax breaks, no-bid contracts, export-import bank, and the list goes on and on. I got no interest in that kind of fake centrism. So I would rather have somebody like Elizabeth Warren fight for real change. So that would be much, much better. All right, last question.
Krishna Rathod asks, hey Cenk, if you could take any TV show to produce and direct it for yourself, which TV show would you choose and why?
So that's an excellent question, but it's a tough to answer because look, I'm already overwhelmed doing all the things that I do. The idea of like producing like let's say a drama like Game of Thrones, oh my God, that sounds so hard. That sounds so hard. I got no interest in that. They already do a great job at that. I want to leave them alone, right? But if I had like a cable news station that I reprogrammed, roll up the sleeves, go to work. Like perhaps if we did hostile takeover of MSNBC. Oh, what we could do with that station. But you know what? We don't need that because we already have a show and a network right here. It's called the TYT Network. We already took that over and we're coming. So thank you for the question. No, and Francis, thank you for participating in Twitter Storm. Everybody check out Francis as the World Cup continues on TYT Sports.